pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Are there any committee reports? Okay. Administrative update. Mr. Porcello's first official meeting as superintendent of the school district, so we welcome him and look forward to what's to come. There's been a lot of work happening over the summer. So, first administrative update.
All right. Thank you, Mrs. Tresker. I'd just like to thank the board and the community for all their support over the past 4 months since being named superintendent. It's this place has meant a lot to me, both professionally and personally. It's where my kids go to school. It's where I've worked the last 15 years. And I'm honored to take over this role, replacing Dr. Thompson, who did a wonderful job in building culture and leading the district for the past 14 years. Transition's been great. A lot of helpful people, a lot of good conversations with a lot of different stakeholders, and I look forward to this first year. So I do thank you for your support and your belief in me, and I'm going to do my best every day to serve this community and make us proud. So, so once again, just thank you for everything. It's going to be an awesome year. I'm going to do my best here. Let's get into campus is ready for staff and students. A lot of work happens behind the scenes every summer. Some of it's very visible with maintenance, custodial, IT. A lot of the different departments remain very active during the summer, as we know. I've met with Darcy and Jim Smith, and there's still some final touches on some IT switchovers and making sure everything's in place, but we're confident that come Monday, we're going to be ready to go. Some of the highlights from an IT, there's an updated PA system, replacing the close to 35-year-old system that we had, which is a good safety feature. Principals, all administration have access to make PA announcements from their phone or any phone within the district, which is very vital in certain key situations. Currently working on Active Directory migration, which the number of systems that we have, that's always going to be tricky, but we're working through that. And then a welding lab, just a simple upgrade of some different cabling to keep that lab first class. Maintenance, you've seen a lot of the work visible. Concrete and catch basins were done right away there in June. The Paxton Patterson lab up in the PMS upstairs wing is ready to go, and it looks phenomenal for our students in that career type of center. And a list, I think Jim Smith has over 70 to 80 projects any given summer. So we thank all the people that are on campus all summer for the work that they do. Buildings look great. Custodians have been doing a ton of work there to keep this place nice and shiny. As far as our leadership retreat, another item here, I thank the leadership team for spending 3 days with us. A lot of focus on district goals, building action plans, and really identifying what is the key work as we head into this school year. And then we did have our teacher leader kickoff, where principals and Mrs. Mujanis worked with our teacher leaders to really start to align and provide clarity as teachers return tomorrow. So 3 district goals that we have set for the year. First one is an instructional goal: strengthen personalized, high-quality Tier 1 instruction. A lot of that work will fall back on the PLCs and driving the work in that area. We do have a measurement that I'll explain at convocation on where we want to place. One of my favorite quotes always goes back to state testing, is that there's no shame in our data, there's only shame if we do nothing about our data. So it's important that we evaluate that every year, see where we're at. It's great feedback as we continue to make improvement, keeping innovation as really our driving factor here. But that is the foundation of where our students are working. District goal number 2, cultivate a culture of care, belonging, and well-being. We've done a lot of work surveying students with Panorama, with the Sabres metrics at the elementary level, and we'll continue to monitor that and use that as to see where our students are at. Great way to get feedback from our students in that area. And then number 3, we want to continue to strengthen communication and build trusting relationships across our school community. I'll be working closely with Al Kellogg. We've worked with building leaders on coming up with a solid communication plan. We feel that we need to tell our story. We're confident in what we do. We can always get better, so we're open to that two-way communication feedback and continue to improve in that area. Personnel, some last minute, make sure we're ready for Monday. You'll see on the agenda Kim Janos, high school receptionist. She's an internal person, moving from working within the unit to the receptionist spot. Cheryl Laney comes to us from Riverside, where she was a director of student services. She will serve as a 40% school psychologist. And that is a spot that took us, I think, over a year and a half. We had very few candidates in that spot. It's a very difficult to fill spot. Bobby Johnson returns to us as an associate. Stephanie Olmalith comes to us for food service. She currently works with the Lake County Health District as a dietitian. So we're excited that in that transition phase with Vicki Peters. And you'll also see on there that Vicki Peters is retiring. And this is a lady that has given her time, dedication, a lot of her life to this district over the last probably close to 2 decades. And not only did she work to provide food every day, but she led the group of workers that provide that smile and that care for the kids as they walk through every day. So we will miss Vicki. We're excited about Stephanie, and we wish Vicki well. I think we'll recognize her at an upcoming meeting here. Michelle Fajenko is a CODA recommendation, which is the occupational therapist. That is a cost-saving move within our district as costs started to rise up pretty in the route that we were going through the ESC there. Victoria Savioli at Associate 2, and Chris Country. So those are some of the pieces you'll find on tonight's agenda. Please mark the date. Convocation is 2 days away, Thursday, August 14th at 8 a.m. We'll do our traditional recognize any new employees to the district and then hand out our service awards, followed by me speaking with the staff as we kick off the school year. Thursday and Friday are also PD days. I think we can be proud of the PD days that we offer within this district. We have 5 that we're able to provide for our teaching staff, and our classified staff does join us on some key days as well. And so some highlights: Start 1.0, which is it's similar to think of like ALICE training, but for people that aren't necessarily in the classroom. So transportation, maintenance and custodial, secretarial pieces, at associates that may be in different spots, and it teaches them recognition and awareness. So this is just another step to try to make sure that we prepare to, number one, prevent any tragic incident, but also be prepared if that day would ever come. And we're looking forward. Classified staff will go through that training on PD days 1 and 2. As far as our certified staff, we continue to monitor state testing. Like I said, looking at the data, how can we get better? There's a session in that area. Magic School Introduction, which is an AI-powered platform that our district has purchased as a software to support students and staff as we look at what are the best ways to use AI within a school. And then another session on ethical use of AI in education. AI is one of those questions that's out there. A lot will happen policy-wise over the next year at the state level and then at the local level to guide the work that we're doing in that area. Next up, Robotics Automation 4.0 Lab. Last September, we received word that we received a $900,000 grant. Special shout out to Dr. Malcheski and the team that helped put that together. The first stage of that was the Paxton Patterson Lab, which I mentioned earlier at the middle school. The next level of work is a Robotics Automation 4.0 Lab in our high school. They'll go in our old computer lab areas. And shout out to Ben Britton, Ben Kovacic, Rita Soder, and Scott Nitzwicki. Next month, we'll be looking at a presentation from that team, and they'll highlight the process that we went through, and which involved meeting with a lot of industry experts in that area, college level experts, to try to build something special for kids. That will be a major chunk of that, over $600,000 purchase. Over $500,000 of that is robotics and equipment, and then money spent to furniture to refurnish the labs down there. Safety Week is on the agenda once again. September 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, we will be going through our typical drills with lockdown evacuations, fire drills, tornado drills, and then having key conversations with students about a variety of different situations. We believe that we'll perform at the level of our training in one of those events. So training is important to take kids through that and have the right age-appropriate conversations depending on what grade they're in our buildings. Then special thanks to our safety forces for the role that they play. We always have a debriefing meeting after a lot of our drills, and just the ongoing conversation to provide a safe environment for our kids is vital. First day of school, just to clear up any confusion that might be out there, grades 1 through 4 will have a phase-in, A through L, and then M through Z over the first 2 days. Grades 5 through 12, everyone will be on campus starting Monday, August 18th, and the pre-K and K will follow their traditional, I think it's around a 5-day different schedules and different assessments that take place. Athletically, it's funny, we used to say all of our athletes return to campus August 1st, but the reality is they never really leave. which is wonderful to see our campus busy throughout the year. Golf and tennis teams have started matches, other sports have started scrimmaging, and a lot of events start August 18th. First competitions for the other sports. Bonfires Thursday, August 21st at 8 p.m. and the tailgate is Friday, August 22nd from 5 to 7 p.m. So we're looking forward to kicking that off. I did get a chance to attend the band camp preview show. Band camp was a success. Once again, special thanks to Mr. Miller, Mr. Russman, Mrs. Singer, and everyone that makes band camp possible, including our band boosters, who play a pivotal role in some of the social events and the a lot of the refreshments that take place at that event. So special thanks to them. And finally, and I know Mrs. Stresker will get to this next on the agenda, but I'd like to thank Andy Roberts for his 12 years of service to this district as a board member. He was a special one, provided a lot of insight for the board, an alumni who took great pride in the district. And while I didn't get to work too closely with him as a superintendent, as a building principal, I always appreciated his steady leadership and influence that he had within this community. And we'll see his resignation effective September 1st. But we do appreciate Andy and everything that he was able to provide for this district, and we wish him well here in the coming years. So once again, thank you, and this concludes my administrative update.
Thank you, Mr. Porcello. Board President's report. We do have the resignation of Mr. Roberts, and are grateful for all the time that he gave to the district and his efforts and hours, and we all know what it's like to serve as a board member, and sometimes it's a thankless job. We're very grateful for everything that he's done. So is there, I move that we accept the resignation of Andrew Roberts as a member of the Perry Board of Education effective September 1st, 2025. Is there, thank you. Any discussion? Anyone else have anything? Roll call, please.
Mr. Leidig?
Yes.
Mrs. Stresker?
Yes.
Mrs. Sealy?
Yes. Consent agenda, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Leidig?
Yes.
Mrs. Stresker?
Yes.
Mrs. Sealy?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Porcello, for superintendent's report.
All right. Item A, personnel approval of appointment. The board is asked to approve the employment of the individuals listed for the positions indicated pending successful completion of required employment paperwork, verification of proper licensure, training and background check as recommended by the local superintendent, director of student services, and director of transportation. B, personnel approval of appointment 21st Century CCLC. The board is asked to approve the employment of the individuals listed for the PHS 21st CCLC grant positions at the rate of pay indicated as recommended by the high school principal and local superintendent. Funds for these positions will be paid out of the federal grant funds awarded to the district as indicated and verified through a timesheet for the dates listed indicated below. C, personnel change of position. The board is asked to approve the change in position of the employees noted as recommended by the local superintendent and chief financial officer. D, personnel approval of extra time. The board is asked to approve extended time for the individual listed for the maximum number of days indicated at their daily rate of pay for the 2025-26 school year as recommended by the local superintendent and director of innovation and learning. E, personnel approval of appointment corrective action. The board is asked to approve the correction to the previously approved July 15, 2025 supplemental rate of pay as listed below for the 2025-2026 school year as recommended by the local superintendent and director of innovation and learning. F, personnel approval of appointment teacher leader. The board is asked to approve the employment of the individual listed below for the supplemental committee position indicated for the 25-26 school year as recommended by the local superintendent and director of innovation and learning. G, personnel approval of leave of absence. In accordance with the terms and conditions of the collective bargaining agreement, Ohio Revised Code, and their applicable leave balance, the board is asked to approve leave for the individuals listed below as recommended by the local superintendent and director of student services. H, personnel approval of appointment 25-26 non-athletic supplemental. The board is asked to approve the individual listed for the 2025-26 non-athletic supplemental noted as recommended by the local superintendent and building principal. I, acceptance of resignation. The board is asked to accept the resignation from the individuals listed from the position noted as recommended by the local superintendent and athletic director. J, personnel approval of athletic supplementals coach/volunteer. The board is asked to approve the employment of the individuals listed in the 25-26 athletic supplemental position and rate of pay indicated pending successful completion of required employment paperwork, verification of proper licensure, training, and background check as recommended by the local superintendent and athletic director. K, personnel approval of appointment. Substitutes, the board is asked to approve the individuals listed for the 25-26 daily substitute position listed pending successful completion of required employment paperwork, verification of proper licensure, training, and background check as recommended by the local superintendent, director of transportation, and director of student services. L, personnel, 25-26 substitute rates of pay, corrective action. The board is asked to approve the corrective action noted previously approved June 30, 2025, as recommended by the chief financial officer and local superintendent. M, approval of bus routes, 25-26. The board is asked to approve the 25-26 bus routes, which are subject to change due to forthcoming student enrollment, as recommended by the local superintendent and director of student services. This concludes my superintendent's report.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Truster?
Yes.
Mrs. Seoli? Yes. Mr. Laydick?
Yes.
We did skip the public participation. Is it all right if we just move, I skipped over it. Is it okay if we move all of public participation to the second part? Is that all right? Okay, thank you. Sorry about that. I just noticed that I jumped right over it. Mrs. Capo.
Thank you. A, approval of financial reports. The board is asked to approve the financial reports from July 2025 as recommended by the chief financial officer. B, acceptance of grant funds. The board is asked to accept the Youth Services America 9/11 Day of Service grant in the amount of $1,000 and to approve appropriations for such grant to be placed in Fund 019, Special Cost Center 9026, as recommended by the local superintendent and chief financial officer. C, approval of payment in lieu. The board is asked to approve payment in lieu of transportation for the student listed during the 2025-26 school year as noted below, as recommended by the chief financial officer and transportation director. D, resource adoption amplified Desmos. The board is asked to approve grade 5 through 8 math resource adoption in the amount of $54,224.42 to amplify Desmos as recommended by the chief financial officer and director of innovation and learning. This purchase will include a 3-year digital license for students and teachers. E, approval of 2025-26 lunch prices. The board is asked to approve the school breakfast and lunch prices for the district as indicated for the 2025-26 school year as recommended by the chief financial officer and director of food services. 2025-26 prices reflect no price increase. F, contracts and agreements Zupka. The board is asked to authorize the chief financial officer to enter into a contract with James G. Zupka CPA Incorporated for preparation of Medicaid school cost report for the years ending June 30th, 2024, 2025, and 2026 at a cost of $3,300 per year as recommended by the chief financial officer. And this concludes my chief financial officer report.
Thank you, Mrs. Capo. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
The Desmos, just for clarification, the 3-year digital license. So is that per year or is that for the 3-year total?
The cost, the 54,
Yes.
is for the whole 3 years.
Perfect.
Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Truster?
Yes.
Mrs. Seoli?
Yes.
Mr. Laydick?
Yes.
Okay, we are, sorry. I can't go in between the computer and the paper and I just keep losing my spot. Unfinished business. So just, I did go to the, regarding the data center, I did go to the council meeting to inquire about some things that, such as they had said during the town hall meeting that the school would be receiving $10 million. So I just went there to inquire about the source of that information. I also asked about whether that considered any tax abatements or any other school funding issues that, school funding is extremely complicated with how the funding works with, Ivo explains it much better than I do, but with the state share that decreases when the local share increases and the gap that can lead to when there's an abatement. So I was wondering if that was any part of that. I also asked, what was the other thing? I just sent it to you guys, right? So either way, I asked them some of those questions and I did not get a response. So I followed up with them yesterday. I still have not heard back. So the meeting was July 21st. I didn't hear back, or July 31st. I sent a follow-up email yesterday. I still have not heard back. So as soon as I hear back, I'll share the information with everyone with regard to that. Also, I did let them know at the meeting that, I don't recall the 50 rooftop restriction. I know that was brought up at the town hall. To my knowledge, that was not something that was part of the discussion in recent times of reducing. We weren't really asked about reducing the rooftop restrictions. So I just want to make sure that everything was clear from our end, and hopefully we can work together. We do want to see, the community prosper, and we want to see improvement and development wherever it's necessary, but our interest is to make sure that our financial interests are taken care of and that everything is considered. So conversations are important. Mrs. Cable, you mentioned that it's a little bit different with when we do get $10 million, how with school funding, it's not necessarily just because it says that on paper that we're getting it. Can you explain a little bit about that?
Well, first of all, there'd be abatements possibly, which would reduce that. Also, depending on the funding formula that's in place at the time, the current one, it would reduce it would increase our local share, which would decrease our state share, which means we get less money from the state. And some of the other sources that we get income from may be reduced once they see that we're getting $10 million. So we wouldn't net $10 million. It's not a fair statement to say that just because the $1 billion of the value came in, that the school would realize $10 million in additional funds.
And then the other question I had asked was about the status of the payment of the closing costs, the legal fees and things that were incurred, because as in the initial agreement, the school was not going to be liable. Everything was going to be, we were going to come out even. Like, we weren't going to spend any money, we we're going to make any money, we we're going to come out even. So we have not gotten a response back on that yet either.
The fiscal officer did ask for a copy of the statement again yesterday. So
okay. So hopefully that will get resolved soon, but that's just an update on where we were with communicating back and forth to make sure that we have all the information that we need moving forward. Is there anyone have anything else on that topic?
No, I mean, and I guess the only thing that I know there's a lot of information out there and a lot of misinformation out there regarding the data center. One thing I have asked about was, once again, if Providence Group has built a data center. They've not. I know it was out there on the community page that they did. I went to a council member and asked them if they had built one since October 3rd of 2024, when they sat in this room and told us that they did not build one. And that council person assured me that they have not built one since. Now, if that's been since it was posted a month or so ago, if they built one last month, I don't know. But as of a month ago, they had not built one yet. So
There was to be one in Virginia, but it was postponed.
that was postponed for a few years, I believe. So, yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, from our perspective, we just want to be part of the conversations when abatements do come up, because even the three of us, or whoever's on the board, the five of us, we can't even speak to it. But our chief financial officer and people who understand the numbers and the way the school funding mechanisms work in Ohio is unique, and Perry's even more unique because of the way it works with the power plant. So we just want to make sure that we have all of the information. The village has access to all of the information that they can have to make the best decisions that they need to make for all of our community. The next thing was with regard to Mr. Roberts' resignation. Our policy states that we have 30 days to fill this position. Our policy is that we would put it out to the public, and his effective date is September 1st. So we have a little bit of time. So I think that the next step that we have to do is put it out to the public. We have policy on it, on where we need to advertise it, and then go from there. And within 10 days of, I think 10 days of putting that out there, we have to make a decision.
Was it 10 days of putting it out there, 10 days from September 1st?
It is, let me find the policy. It was under the zeros policy. Okay, it's policy 0145. So what it says is that,
You can't fill it for 10 days
right,
between
okay.
September 1st and September 11th. And then it has to be filled between September 11th and October 1st.
At the
So
first
between days
meeting.
10 and 30 is where you guys would consider who to appoint and go through that process.
So if we have new candidates, then we certainly at the next board meeting in September could invite them, have the interviews at the beginning, make a decision. We have a limited amount of time to make that decision. And this position would only be open, it'd be filled January 1st, because this was the end of his term expires at the end of this year. So it's a very short time period that we would be appointing someone for, but we do want to follow all of the policies. So if we can get that listing put out there. Another vacancy is the rec board vacancy. Our rec board appointee had resigned from his vacancy. So it would seem that the same procedure that we followed before, in order to be consistent, we would put out for applicants for that. Hopefully at the next board meeting be able to appoint that. Does anyone have any other ideas on that?
No. I know that they're interviewing for their rec director spot, so my concern is just making sure that we have two individuals there, at least if they're proposed, that we have a voice.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know what else we can do. I can't move much faster if we have,
Right.
you know, we're kind of at a time crunch with it. I don't know what their timeline is.
Do you want me to, we started interviews today.
Okay,
I just came from.
okay. So I think as soon as we can do it, we do need to, I think that moving forward, it would be beneficial for all of us to add work sessions back in, at least for the time being with as much transition and turnover that we've had in the district, doing it early in the month work session. If we need to remove it, we can remove it. But I think it would be nice to have those each month where we can actually talk through these things and it gives us another opportunity to make these decisions. So if we want to do that, we could probably add a work session in early September. Just gonna look at my schedule. I don't know if you guys have availability. I know it's a little bit not super short notice, but we would do, what was it before? Gina, do you remember? Was it the second?
Yes.
The second Tuesday of the month?
It was the first and the third.
Okay.
So it's the first Tuesday was the special, the regular was the third.
Okay, so do we want to do a work session on the 2nd of September, add that in? And then that would give us time, it's only a couple weeks from now, so we would have a little bit more time to get someone in there. And then we can also, we can't even accept the application, we can't appoint someone to the board position, but we can at least like have a status update on where it's at.
And we could put the, have the team come in with the robotics automation lab and do a presentation at that work session.
Okay.
In a more appropriate setting.
Yeah, it's always a good way to get some information and get things taken care of and discussed. Am I missing anything?
Just
I'm
the,
so lonely up here. I feel like it's a big public speaking. Like,
the committee meetings and
Oh, yeah.
dates.
we do need to get, if we can get whoever's responsible for the committees, we need to get those dates set up. So I think for the upcoming school year, wellness and instructional committee, safety committee, if we can get like just updated when those upcoming meetings are, or start working on some dates for the beginning of the school year on those, I think it would be helpful to get those on our calendar. I know everyone's really busy. Are we good with 5:45 for the work session? Does that work with everybody to keep it consistent?
Sure.
Okay. Anything else? Oh, OSBA, are we planning on going? I think we had been asked about, are you going to OSBA?
I am, yes.
Okay. Are
I
I'm
you-
don't
still
know
looking
how
at my calendar for work. I'm trying to figure that out.
I don't know how the invitation ended up coming.
That's okay.
Everyone's invited.
Okay, I'm planning on going. So we'll get that. We need to probably respond. Suzanne, what do you know about when you need answers on that?
No, but I'll get back to you on it. I
Okay.
just have to read further into it.
Okay, so we all just get in our heads that like we need to start probably thinking about that because we're getting kind of close to that time.
Do you know, have you talked to Tippy at all? Is she planning on?
I think she is, but I don't know for certain. She should be here soon. She was just running a little bit behind. Okay,
You know what? Just put me down to go. I'll figure it out.
Okay.
We're good.
that was new business. That's November 16th to 18th. Any correspondence and announcements? We haven't gotten anything else, correct? So the 2025-26 school year will begin August 18th, 2025. The district will be closed Monday, September 1st, 2025 for Labor Day. The next regular Board of Education meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, September 16th, 2025 at 5:45 p.m. in the Carver Center Conference Room. We will be adding a September 2nd meeting into that as well. And then public participation, Mr. Hurd.
Yeah, Curtis Kurt, 3956 Main Street. I just had a question about the data center tax abatement. I was also at the village council meeting you were at, and I think some people have been kind of probing of where the mayor and council sit with where they stand on even approving any type of tax abatement, not whether the discussions have occurred. And my question to the Board of Education is, have they approached you with where any of the council members of the village or the township stand on whether they would approve a tax abatement or not approve a tax abatement? Because this is super important to the schools.
So usually we don't answer in this, usually we reach out to you after, and I think the best thing would be for Mrs. Capo, if you could probably answer that more in depth. But there's a threshold at which the school has to be considered for tax abatements, but as it stands right now, they've told us that they're not really at a point where they're considering, they haven't discussed it yet, so it's not really at that point yet, to my knowledge. That's all I know about it right now. Anyone have any other?
Just that we did ask to have,
We have,
not us personally, but to have somebody from our finance
And we-
involved in those discussions.
we did meet with the mayor and a couple council members, and they did indicate that they would keep us in the loop, but we haven't.
So that's about all we have. But you're welcome to reach out to Mrs. Capo, our chief financial officer. She has a lot of the answers on how that works and what thresholds we need to be at in order to have it put in it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So,
Second,
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Seoli?
yes.
Mr. Leidig?
yes.
Mrs. Pritzker?
Yes. Thank you.